Fuck crypto. You don't need the anxiety. Before you bought the bullshit fantasy coin, your life was good. But then you made some money and became greedy. Now the bullshit coin is fucked. And nobody can tell you when it is going to be unfucked. Even the motherfucker who convinced you to buy the bullshit coin, who told you that it is going to be the next big thing, that motherfucker is nowhere to be found. You are on your own. And all you can do is cry about it in the shower. And hope and believe that your bullshit coin will go up in price again. So that you can sell it and make some money and buy some more. And then get fucked all over again. That is crypto.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, I think that introduction sums up a lot of how many new people feel when they first join the crypto market, especially when they join during a bear market. Where's the random motherfucker that told you about crypto now? You see, the difference between most people and myself is that through all the highs and all the lows and everything in between, we come out here and let you know about the get down. We tell you exactly what's going on through the bear market when things are down 95% and during the bull market and everywhere in between. And now we're in a special point in the market. This is the calm before the storm. But this is when things are about to get juicy. When the market trades sideways for as long as it has been over the past couple months, it's going to break in one direction or the other. And in this video today, I'm going to cover exactly what I think is going to occur. But first, I have exciting news, as my interview with Armando Pantoja, Mr. Tall Guy Tycoon, an expert in the tech space, and someone who made a killing in selling an ICO rating company back in the 2017 bull market. My interview with him will be posted tomorrow on YouTube, and I highly recommend you watch it, as quite a number of gems were released on that video. Now, before we get started with anything else, let me give you a bit of a scenario playing out in real time that you all need to be made aware of. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we've been talking about for months is the likelihood that there will be another black swan event that will trigger economic responses like rate cuts. Why? Because, my friends, we are clearly too overheated in the stock market. We're clearly in economic decline. We are clearly in for an economic collapse. Inflation is too high. People are suffering. But there needs to be an excuse for why we need to cut rates and stimulate the economy with quantitative easing again. And remember in 2020, when Donald Trump had these emergency rate cuts, quote unquote, March 2020, the same exact time where C-19 was deemed a global pandemic and that was an emergency, those rate cuts coincided with COVID. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. These elites hide events and economic policy together. The true important thing you need to understand is that we have been programmed to just take everything at face value. But if you read their headlines and the articles in the news outlets they put out, you can prepare ahead of time to know what their next plans are. They've talked about cyber pandemics being a potential. They've laid out World War III in front of us with Israel-Palestine, Russia-Ukraine, China-Taiwan. But now we have to think about what's truly coming. All of these things are already happening. Slowly but surely, every single day they're escalating. The 2024 election will probably be the most contested election of all time, coming off Russia collusion for 3 years, and January 6th, and the last one, You don't expect something big to happen this time around. That on top of them potentially taking Joe Biden out last minute. Yeah, that's a good one. But ladies and gentlemen, what can affect every single one of you is what they're rolling out right now. This headline from AP says the US will pay Moderna $176 million to develop an mRNA pandemic flu vaccine because apparently a lot of cows and a lot of chickens are experiencing bird flu. So we have to vaccinate the livestock. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine what's coming if the food supply experiences a shortage. Everything is already too expensive. But imagine if they're not even on the shelf. And they've been giving you the predictive programming that this is possible over the past couple years. Eggs, rice, chicken, beef, food shortages is being told will be out here. And they've been talking about potential flus for your products over the past year plus. What are you going to do then? Ladies and gentlemen, that would truly be a shock to the system. A black swan event of black swan events from numerous different angles. You see, there are people that say black swan events can't be predicted ahead of time. And I say, if you're paying attention, you'll see the breadcrumbs they lay out for you. As Klaus Schwab said, you will eat the bugs. But as I say, if you're prepared ahead of time, you'll know what they're planning. You'll be positioned accordingly. And you'll be able to prevent yourself from being caught off guard. Ladies and gentlemen, all I ask you to do is to pay attention. And while they lay the foundations of the new financial system before our very eyes, the new digital financial system is being cemented, while the old one is dying. Order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. Ladies and gentlemen, how can they give us our bug rations if we're not on CBDCs yet? Just think. You need your carbon credits in order to buy beef in the future because the beef is already too sick. Vaccinated beef, 3D printed beef, cricket soup. This is the future they want for us. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't even what I'm saying. This is the World Economic Forum's agenda. All I'm saying is to keep this information in the back of your mind as in 2024 and in 2025, we need a profit take from our cryptos. We need to prepare for the rate cuts that will cause a momentary crash in the market, but will lead to quantitative easing for more money to be brought into the market to buy up these assets into an election year. We are in a confirmed bull market. War tensions are good for crypto, and the US dollar is declining rapidly. Pay attention, because what's coming next will be biblical.
Kind of where we stand, people. If you think for a second that the issues with regard to inflationary pressures are going to change anytime soon, interest on the debt ballooning, prices continuing to rise across the board, this neo-feudal system which is in full swing, you think that's going to change anytime soon? No matter who they stick behind the Resolute desk, then you got another thing coming because you have no clue as to what's going on. It's unfortunate. As I always tell you, it is not presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, dictators who run the system. It's the central banks who are the government. And henceforth, why? They were protected last night. Both Trump and Biden did whatever they could to protect the Federal Reserve. And that equalizes them. That equalizes the playing field here. They don't work for you. They work for them. And that should tell you something.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was a Subjective Views Gregory Mannarino clip, reminding every single one of you that neither side of the two-party dictatorship is here to support you. We are living in interesting, divisive times. Everything in the mainstream is meant to manipulate you. But here, they're looking to do one thing, and that is to protect the central banking system. That is why you need to realize what's going under the hood of the new one. The central banking system is going to get a facelift. Ripple and XRP, in my opinion, are going to play a major role in it. But right now, BlackRock's not talking about Ripple and XRP. They're talking about Bitcoin as a hedge against geopolitical uncertainty and monetary risk. And here, in this moment in time, when they refer to Bitcoin specifically, I want you to understand that Bitcoin is a broad brush blanket term for the boomers to understand crypto. The boomers only think Bitcoin in terms of the crypto space. Hell, I got boomer parents and boomer uncles and aunts. When they think of crypto, is just Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, once all the boomers understand what crypto is, the opportunity will have passed you by. That is why it's important that you understand that the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF was a Trojan horse. Yes, it is. While yes, the price will go up into the bull market, at the end of the day, it will be weaponized against the very ideal of decentralization the crypto space was birthed on. But when they use Bitcoin in this specific sense right here, right now, in regards to uncertainty and monetary risk, you need to understand that they're broad brushing the term crypto using Bitcoin.
Samara, so great to catch up. It feels like every time we're talking these days, it's a conversation about digital assets. I'm not complaining though, it's an exciting time.
I totally agree because so much has been happening, whether it's developments in liquidity provision or infrastructure in the ecosystem or public policy. There has been a huge amount happening in digital assets, of course, leading to the launch of Bitcoin ETFs. So Jay, since we launched IBIT this year, what are you and the team hearing from investors?
We've been having great dialogues with investors, from everyone who's new to the digital asset space to those who have been investing in it for a long time. I think the commonality in these conversations is just how convenient Bitcoin ETFs are in bringing access to the space. I'm interested to hear your view of the markets. How is investor participation changing in the space?
So to your point, Jay, access has been the real game changer with ETFs coming into the Bitcoin space, because now investors can access Bitcoin same way they could buy stocks and bonds through a conversation with their advisors or in their online brokerage platform. And so now they can buy Bitcoin in that way with that ETF setup and look at it in their whole portfolios and think about portfolio construction. And that's why I've been so interested in hearing from you on how investors should be thinking about the role of Bitcoin in their portfolios.
I think this is one of the most important questions for investors that are considering digital assets. The reality is, as you know, Bitcoin is a nascent asset. It's only 1/10 of the size of the gold market, and therefore it has high volatility and behaves a bit differently than stocks and bonds. A lot of investors look at it as a potential hedge against geopolitical and monetary risks. Other investors look at it as a way to play future adoption of blockchain technology. In either case, it's important that investors take a measured approach to Bitcoin, considering both the risks and the potential returns of the asset.
So that makes tons of sense to me. And actually, because they can now access Bitcoin through an ETF, it actually makes it easier to take that measured approach because they can see their whole portfolio and look at risk return scenarios with Bitcoin as a part of it.
Exactly.
This has been awesome to talk to you, Jay.
This has been great, Samara. Thank you for the quick download. We have so much more to catch up on.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is what I like to call a good old-fashioned scam. Does anybody smell any authenticity out the mouths of either of those two people? Absolutely not. That sounds like a 1975 commercial on how to put money in for your 401k so that one day, by the age of 172, you can finally retire after you're already dead, after your bugs are eaten, after you got scammed by inflation in the system. Then you have the hope to maybe one day work at Walmart. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what that sounded like to me. But the reason I show you things like that is because the difference in the way these discussions are being had are self-evident. Bitcoin is clearly the mainstream distraction, the shiny object that they dangle in front of the boomers, in front of the non-informed, in front of the average Joe. And here, XRP is building a behemoth in the background, as Hong Kong has been preparing for Ripple stablecoin for some time now. Remember, Hong Kong actually launched this year a stablecoin sandbox. And for the past 18 months, they literally went worldwide talking to Circle, Ripple, Visa, Alibaba, all of these different institutions to make sure that the government are on top of regulations, to have clear guidelines to approve various different institutions to be able to support stablecoins. That and Hong Kong's connection to Ripple for building out their CBDC cannot be ignored, as we're in a financial paradigm shift from the Western US dollar-backed system to a more Eastern style financial system. And as power shifts from the Western world to the Eastern world, Hong Kong is going to play a major role in this financial revolution.
How important is the stablecoin world to the broader crypto ecosystem, and how vulnerable is it to U.S. regulation?
I think stablecoin worldwide is a super important topic. U.S. in many sense, I think, being sitting in Silicon Valley, we need to get ahead of the game, because I'm looking at Hong Kong, actually just launched this year the stablecoin sandbox. And for the past 18 months or so, they literally went worldwide and talking to Circle, Ripple, Visa, Alibaba of the world to make sure that government really are on top of regulations, to basically have very clear guidelines to approve various different institutions to be able to support stablecoins. So in that sense, in the cross-border payment, if we just purely let other people to define what stablecoin is about, it's really not good for the long-term finance ecosystem. So I think U.S. really we need to get our act together to catch up with in Europe with MiCA, or in Hong Kong or Singapore, which is already have very clear regulation to support it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all remember about the continued building internationally of the new financial system, you cannot forget about Project Enbridge and how I brought this up numerous times throughout the past year, but a lot more specifically recently. The BIS has been active. Ripple and XRP are coming down the last legs of this case. MiCA regulations are already online. International crypto regulations are ready. The SEC is losing credibility every single day and more power every single day. And all that to say is the political, economic, and social are all about to converge in real time. And I believe the intersection of all these things, all the Black Swan events we've experienced over the past 5 years, all the financial turmoil that we've experienced over the past decade, and all the political division and war tensions will converge for the XRP perfect storm. I know to a lot of people that may seem far-fetched, but nobody's going to be complaining once they become the new 1%. Heed my warning, my friends. Our time is almost here. Now guys, to cap off this video for today, we have Ripple's Cassie Craddock, Managing Director of Ripple in the UK. And I'm going to leave you with this 5-minute clip as you continue to understand that the digital asset you own has a much bigger purpose than anyone could imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Nadira Sadikova, Financial IT, Amsterdam Money 2020, and today with us, Cassie Craddock. She's a managing director at Ripple UK Euro. And today we're going to discuss about Ripple's, the recent developments and what has been done. And so that will be really interesting to get your insights, Cassie. Welcome.
Hi, and great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, today we're going to cover like three main aspects. The first is like strategic partnerships and expansions of Ripple and innovations in cross-border payments and regulatory framework, because it's becoming more and more stringent. Can you just like shed a light on those three topics, please? First is strategic partners, how Ripple is fostering and making collaborations around partnerships, etc.
Great, thank you. So Ripple is building enterprise crypto solutions for financial institutions, and we're providing, banks and large financial institutions an end-to-end infrastructure platform so that they can easily build within the digital asset space. We've now been in business for 12 years. We started back, many years ago now, with payments as our first use case because we saw a great opportunity to enhance and improve cross-border payments. And so today we have processed over $50 billion in flow. We have payout capabilities in over 80 plus countries, representing 90% of the FX market, and we continue to see adoption of financial institutions leveraging our technology to send cross-border payments instantly, more cost-effective, and without the need to pre-fund in destination, which is a trapped liquidity issue. And beyond that, we last year announced our acquisition of Metaco, which was a $250 million acquisition, which was our largest to date. And that's a custody platform that enables large banks and financial institutions to safely secure their assets. And we continue to expand products and services that are driven by customer demand. This year we announced that we'll be launching a USD stablecoin, which is something that we're really excited about and will help complement, in addition to XRP, the ability to send cross-border payments, but also is a key piece of infrastructure that is needed for developer adoption of the XRP ledger. So something that we're really excited about.
So that's really impressive, Cassie. You've been at the forefront of Ripple from the very beginning. Can you kindly talk about the cross-border payments as well? Because this is like really hot topic these days.
Sure. So we live today in a on-demand economy where people want things now, but we are still limited by the ability of traditional infrastructures that enable people to send money across cross-border. And so it's still easier for people to fly money from here to Australia than it is to send via traditional rails. So we saw that as an opportunity to insert blockchain technology to be able to improve that customer experience, make sure that those payments are delivered instantly cross-border, lowering the cost, but also making sure that those payments happen with certainty. So we continue to build products and services that enable financial institutions to send cross-border payments instantly, and our customer base in Europe in particular are really leaning into that.
So, but what can you talk about the regulatory framework and the future prospect?
I think one of the biggest inhibitor of growth within the kind of broader crypto space is regulation. It's one of the biggest challenges that we see as an industry. And of course, what will make innovation grow and accelerate that will be clear regulatory frameworks for us to be able to build solutions within. Of course, the US continues to be a big challenge for us. I think from a European perspective, we're really excited about MiCA coming into play in the coming months, and that will help level set and give us a regulatory framework that we're able to build upon, which is exciting.
And the last question is how are you finding the event Money 2020?
It's been great so far. Really enjoying it. Lots of really great positive conversations. We announced our partnership with Clear Junction. So Clear Junction will join the Ripple payments network and deliver payments in GBP and Euro to us, something that our customers have been asking for. So we're really excited about that announcement. Top themes, around tokenization, leveraging blockchain technology within payments. So yeah, it's been overall a really great event.
Thanks a lot for your insightful feedback. So thank you. Thanks for being with us. Cassie Craddock, Managing Director at Ripple, UK and Europe. Nadira Sadikova, Financial IT, Money 2020, Amsterdam.